This is a presentation on the U visa, who qualifies for it and what do you need to qualify for it. First of all, the U visa is usually the result of a sad situation where you have been victims of certain crimes. I am going to go over the crimes and also tell you what can be done to help you and the common crimes that qualifies under the U visa. We have this on one of our blogs. It's called immilohelp.org, and basically here what we are talking about is if you're a victim of a qualifying criminal activity, you have suffered substantial physical or mental abuse as a result of this criminal activity, and you have actually helped the law enforcement in investigating or prosecuting the crime, and if you are under the age of 16, you can use someone to give that information to the police, and the crime has to have occurred inside the United States or violated United States laws. And this is, a lot of people get confused on that part because they think even if the crime has happened outside the United States, it might fall into the U visa. Maybe it is, but it all depends on the situation. But most of the time, it has to have happened inside the United States, violated a state law or federal laws. And I'm going to go over the crimes, which is very, very important to know, because many of those crimes are not going to be direct when you file the case. For example, abduction. Abduction is mostly like kidnapping, but there is a section for kidnapping. It's very much like taking away a child and things like that. So if that happened inside the US, that child and the family, by the way, the families that are attached to that child might actually also get the immediate relative might also get the U visa. We have actually done a case where one person was abused, was sexually abused, and ultimately the entire family got a U visa, and now they all benefited from the green card. Then you have abusive sexual contact. These are situations where basically, for example, we had a case where someone was inappropriately touched in a train, and that kind of brought the situation to a U visa. Blackmail is becoming more common because many immigrants who are scared in being in the United States are being blackmailed by some people who pretend, for example, to become immigration officers and asking money. So you might qualify under this. Domestic violence, this is a big one. A lot of people who are, for example, on student visas or H4 visas or H1 have been abused, and domestic violence here is not just pure abuse. It has to be physical. Their case has to be registered with the police. Then you can get the U visa. Extortion, that also is going to become common because a lot of, for example, students or people on H4 are being abused by their employers, who are not only excuse me, uh, trying to get money from those students, basically to give them jobs and things like that. So it might become, but we have not done any yet, but it is becoming something frequent. False imprisonment, as you see here, this is basically keeping you in custody without your consent, and with unlawful custody. It cannot be the police unless the police is acting in bad faith. It is people who basically are just pretending to be acting on some kind of grounds and keeping you in custody. So you can get under false imprisonment if that person is committing a crime. Female genital mutilation, this is not something common inside the US, but maybe some attorneys get those cases like that. Felonious assault is probably one of the most common with domestic violence. This is where you get attacked with a deadly weapon. For example, I have cases where people were attacked with baseball bat, people who were attacked with guns. Guns are very common, especially people working in store. So this qualifies probably for the felonious assault. And fraud in foreign labor contracting, that's becoming more and more common, especially now that the Department of Labor has agreed to actually sign on those visas. It makes it a lot easier for us to get those cases approved, and you have to have a complaint with the Department of Labor, and you have to have helped the Department of Labor. I had a case of I have not really handled completely the case, but someone came for a consultation where they were working on a farm where the not only the person who owns the farm was not paying them, but he was actually keeping them almost as slaves in a barge, and making them work and refusing to give them even their passport. Those who had a passport, he was keeping those contracts, those passport under his seal, and he was not giving them anything. Hostage, and of course that's pretty much direct. If you are being held hostage, you might be eligible for that if it happens on U.S. soil, and that's might becoming more and more common with what the events happening around the world now. And unfortunately, incest, if you are being victim of incest is a crime in many states. Well, not many states, pretty much all the states. So it is something that can actually give you a U visa. Involuntary servitude, basically this is slavery in other terms, so forcing you to work, and that relates to the fraud in labor contracting. Kidnapping, very similar to abduction. We have seen a lot of times people kidnapping their relatives and things like that for money or for gain, so they might be eligible for that. Manslaughter, that one is kind of tricky. Who qualify with that person is pretty much is dead. So how do you get that? But then the family member might be eligible for that. Murder is the same rule. Obstruction of justice. What is obstruction of justice? It is basically blocking. Someone is blocking the Justice Department from moving forward on the case, and if you're a victim of that, you might get what we call the U visa. Peonage, perjury, lying to the under oath. Prostitution, of course, this is basically a given. Rape, prostitution also is something when you're forced into prostitution. For example, we had a case where someone was in the mob and a gang and was forcing the girlfriend to prostitute herself. We have rape. Rape is something not, but it is a common crime. But we have not had any case really on rape. But sexual assault, we had a bunch of them, where people basically were assaulted. There was no complete rape, but there's still a sexual assault. Sexual exploitation, this is basically goes to prostitution style. Slave trade, slave trade is still happening. We had a case where we had people from the Philippines who were victims of the slave trade, and we also have stalking, torture, trafficking, witness tampering, unlawful criminal restraint, and then here it says other related crimes. How do you know the crimes qualify for U visa? This is where a good lawyer can help you. The U visa is a very powerful tool for all those who don't know. Once you file it, now it's like a waiting time of 1 year to 2 years to get a work permit. But as long as you file it on time, you stay legal. You are in a deferred action, and once it's approved, you get a work permit or the EAD, employment authorization document. After 3 years, you are eligible to file for the green card. So for those who need help with the U visa, ladies and gentlemen, as I have mentioned in all the details, I have given you some of the cases we have done, and we have done many U visa cases. We will be glad to help you. So we recommend that you give us a call at 510-742-5887. And we wanted to say, unfortunately, I know you are a victim of a crime, but this being victim of a crime, although a bad situation happened, it can end up becoming helpful to you to get a green card. So please give us a call, and if you like our videos, please subscribe, like, and also make sure that you check all our our videos, and also comment if you have questions. Feel free to comment. Thank you so much, and anything I tell you today is for educational purposes only. You should not act or refrain to act solely on the information provided. You should contact an attorney if you have any question. Thank you.